Hello and welcome to the Storyboard and Twitter special, The Conversation, Converse to Convert. I'm Shibani Gharat. Diwali is that time of the year when the mood is joyous and festive. We want to connect with our family and friends. While last 2 years, most people had to exchange festive wishes virtually, this Diwali, all of us are looking forward to celebrating the festival with our friends and family in person. But we will still come to Twitter to share good wishes, signature festive dishes, Diwali cleaning and decoration tips, and so much more. These type of conversations on the platform present brands with perfect opportunity to nurture customer relationship by engaging with the key audience when they are at their most receptive. Over the years, several brands and marketers across segments have leveraged the festive season to launch new products and amplify initiatives on the platform. The festive season also witnesses several brands jumping onto the gifting bandwagon with various promotions running over the period. How do these conversations convert into sales, and how do brands drive positivity and fuel brand memorability during the festive times? To discuss this, today we are joined in by Mayank Prabhakar, Head of Digital Marketing, Vivo, and Nidhi Hola, Country Marketing Director, Dell, along with Kanika Mittal, Country Head, Large Client Solutions, Twitter India. All of you, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shivani.
Thank you.
Kanika, my first question goes to you. With Diwali just round the corner, can you tell us more about what kind of conversations are happening on Twitter, and what is it that you are witnessing this festive season?
Thanks, Shivani. I think your opening said it all. Consumers are so excited. They're in a jubilant mood. And of course, when there is so much of positivity all around, marketers do want to make sure that they are favorably positioned and they're top of mind for their consumers. The interesting thing that we are seeing on Twitter is that there's a complete explosion of conversations that happen in the week of Diwali, and they pretty much cross more than 3 million conversations. The majority of them are actually very, very positive in nature. And like you said, they're all about sharing ideas, tips around decoration, around sustainable Diwali, or anything else they may be planning to gift, buy, and so on. It becomes such a beautiful amalgamation of culture on our platform that the opportunity for brands is not just immense, but it's also a way for them to become a very strong and a cemented part of our culture. What we've also seen is that not just the conversation spike, but people are also coming on Twitter to look at reviews. And more than 60% of our consumers are looking at Twitter to find reviews before making their purchase decisions. Interestingly, more than 60% also tell us, through our research program, that they feel like, they're able to go beyond their immediate circle of friends and family and find more interesting, passionate, and influential consumers like them on the platform, and they're guided by their choices and their reviews. So I would say conversations are not just immense on the platform, but they're also extremely valuable conversations being driven by a highly receptive audience, and they are going to an audience that is, again, receptive and looking for these kind of tips, tricks, reviews, and informations before buying anything or making a purchase decision.
And Kanika, you said it, tips, tricks, and reviews. And reviews is something which is important for, I believe, both Dell and Vivo. So, Nidhi, over to you. With so many players in the market and, amidst this entire festive clutter, how do you ensure that your brand stands out?
So, Shivani, first of all, thanks for having me here. I'd say the quiet confidence of not saying anything during festive clutter can also help you stand out. Because when you do speak at the right time with the right message, you are more authentic. So for us, it's more about investing in brand building, in building our brand voice consistently. Otherwise, you're seen as trying too hard.
Okay, over to you, Mayank. You're representing a consumer-first brand which is Vivo. With the festive season upon us, what are some of the key trends that you're witnessing in the tech OEM space? A lot of launches were happening on Twitter over the past 2 years is what we have seen, something that we had unheard of prior to the pandemic, but over the past 2 years, we saw a lot of launches happened on the platform. Now, when the launches are back to happening in person, what is happening in the tech OEM space on Twitter?
See, given a consumer first approach, right, we have to be very cautious about what is the value required by a particular user. In Vivo, we are driven by the values from the user, right? We have a continuous learning program basis which we keep on adding innovations, and we are bound to deliver innovations generation by generation. Now, coming to this festive season, I think it's equivalent to a shopping festival anywhere. Consumer is already into a consideration mind wherein he has somehow opted for what device he is going to look for, what he is going to buy, right? So that's consideration phase is already there. There's a lot of organic pull which happens. Why? Because they are looking for that deals and then offers and the cashback what we see. So what I believe is I think it's more of a value of the product which they look for and they made a consideration, followed by some offers, and more important is affordability what they do. Now, what we need to do is to drive that consideration. There has to be a lot and lot of positive conversations built on the social media that is there. I think that's what I will say. It's very, very important to have a healthy and a positive conversation around your brand throughout the year so that you are in the consideration set. They might conclude during the festival season. Why? Because they are waiting for those offers and the affordability to come. Yeah.
Okay. And Kanika, over to you. We are all living in this age of social shopping today. How can brands harness and scale and influence of these brand conversations to drive business and be seen and heard?
Yes, Shibani. First of all, I must acknowledge this is a very interesting conversation because we are getting the perspective of both B2B and B2C. And I get this question very often myself that, how does strategy change around festive occasions when it comes to B2B and B2C? And I think Twitter is such a unique platform because it caters to both and so well equally so. What we've noticed, on our platform and, through our research is that more than 90% of the consumers actually want to look at brand conversation before finalizing a purchase decision. And a majority of them have actually acknowledged that their purchase decision has changed because of something that they have read on social media. And I think that's why it's very important that brands have a very, very strong strategy in place when they tap into social media conversations, brand conversations, and truly harness the power. What I would suggest is to have a very strong campaign flight plan, which has a full funnel approach. So you start with awareness, you start with building interest and intrigue in your products and services. This could be done through visually exciting content. This content could reside, for example, on the Twitter spotlight, which sits right on top of what's trending. Or it could be in the form of an emoji engine, which allows you to engage with your consumer and explain different products and services by tying them back to specific emojis. So the idea is to keep it visually very exciting so that your consumer leans in and you're able to create that awareness and interest. Then you move to the second part of the marketing funnel, which is driving consideration. Here, what I would suggest is to have very exciting and engaging formats. So for example, Twitter conversational cards allow you to, just at a single click of a button, actually partake in brand conversations and create virality on the timeline. And that's the holy grail for any marketer. So I would say the second part is to use engaging formats so that from awareness, you move to consideration and you become more top of mind for your consumer and he starts thinking about you before finalizing their purchase decision. And then the third is, to make sure that you have your campaign flight plan spread across the full funnel, is to then use performance solutions by Twitter to make sure that you're able to take all of these conversations and you're leading them to conversion. The interesting thing is that when you have phase 1 and phase 2, which is awareness and consideration done through visually exciting content and engaging formats, you will have a pool of leaned in audiences. You will know that this is a set of consumer that has already liked your brand or is interested in your product. And then when you apply performance marketing or performance solutions, you can get that much incremental result through our audiences and really deliver on those business KPIs. So I would say having a full funnel drive to buy approach on Twitter can make a real difference when you want to harness the magic of brand conversations on social media.
It is time for a short break. This conversation will continue. You don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
They have a monumental journey ahead of them, through wind and rain, from one continent to the next, although some have other ideas. Well, if you're going to fly, you may as well fly better.
Hey Dad, are we there yet?
मुथूट फाइनेंस पेश करते हैं गोल्ड लोन मेला। गोल्ड लोन लेने पर पाए सुनहरा मौका कपल्स के लिए फॉरेन ट्रिप जीतने का और साथ ही जीते कई आकर्षक इनाम। यही नहीं, हर ट्रांजैक्शन पर होगा 24 कैरेट गोल्ड आपके नाम। अपने फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली को रेफर करने पर भी मिलेगा खरा सोना। गोल्ड लोन लेने के लिए आज ही मुथूट फाइनेंस की ब्रांच में आए या फिर घर बैठे बैठे गोल्ड लोन पाए। आज ही कॉल करें 1800-313-1212।
The journey of success has many moments. Some reflect your taste, and some your class. But there is only one that shows you are a class apart. LG OLED, celebration of your success.
अंग अंग बाजे मृदंग में अवचित ही शर्माऊं। महालया के दर्पण में सदियों की आहट पाऊं। सदियों
This Diwali, celebrate the grace and glory with Mahalaya, a collection inspired by the royal heritage of Maharashtra, Reliance Jewels.
How about listening to global market maestros before crafting your investment strategy? How about getting deep insights into their businesses from top Indian honchos before putting your money on the line? How about making every trading day profitable with strategies from the market masters, macro pundits and chart wizards? Only one show gives you a head start to your trading day. Get ready to profit. Get ready for business with Bajar at these times on CNBC-TV18 and CNBC-TV18.com.
Money speaks only one language. If you save me today, I'll save you tomorrow. If you invest me wisely, I'll build you a better future. Understand the language of money the easy and simple way. Make friends with money on Money, Money, Money. Every Monday at 3:30 p.m. only on CNBC-TV18.
राहुल, अब तुम बाप बनने वाले, हाँ? तुम्हें एक अपना घर अब ले लेना चाहिए।
अब पापा देखिए, आप लोग को छोड़ के मैं कहीं नहीं जाने वाला।
छोड़ने की बात कौन कर रहा है? हाँ? अरे यहीं पास में कोई एक घर देख लो। वैसे भी हम कब तक तुम्हें झेलते रहेंगे?
सच्चा दोस्त वही जो आपके बारे में सोचे। होम लोन्स फ्रॉम IDBI बैंक। बैंक ऐसा, दोस्त जैसा।
Welcome back to the Storyboard and Twitter special, The Conversation, Converse to Convert. Today we are discussing how brands can harness the scale and influence of conversations to drive business during the festive season. Nidhi, how has Dell Technologies done that over the past couple of years? And if you can also share some insights on the key B2B trends that we are witnessing.
Sure. So, Shivani, I'll first talk about what Kanika was also sharing in terms of how do you drive conversation, social selling, all of that. So the notion that B2B is only rationally led is actually false because obviously the ticket size is higher, but it's actually the emotion that helps you get through the door with the customer and the rationale that helps you seal the deal. So when I say emotion, I know it's too broad a word. So I want to share as an example, I would say authenticity, trust, and partnership are the three emotions that we are betting on. And as an example, when we built a value proposition for startups, we pivoted on trust and partnership. We took that approach of creating a video which was talking about a narrative, the value proposition, but we were actually pivoting on how we believe in the founders' dreams. So that's what we hope to convey while being supportive of their dreams. So we did not take it to television because my audience was sitting on certain social platforms. So we were able to be very targeted. So the right content, reaching out through the right platform, intent tracking, all of that is what helped drive the needle.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share that as an example.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Mayank? How do you do it and how do you break this festive clutter in a unique way?
So, yes, I mean, we have to acknowledge that it's not clutter. I mean, being offline, be it online, it's all marketers there because there is a pull, organic pull of buying happening. So we have to be very, very vigilant in terms of what we are communicating out there, right? So we at Vivo, we have always been believe into joy in human relationship, in emotions, in connections. I think that's the value which we drive in the ecosystem. And I think I will second Kanika here, wherein you have to build a brand over a time, and hence you have to stand out from the clutter market. It's not being over the festive season only. It's a thorough activity done throughout the year, and we do again and again. So, given that being a festive season and we have joys and we have emotions, we have come back with a Diwali film again, wherein it's an emotion bond between a granddaughter and a grandfather, where they come together, they come to the festive, they come back home, they enjoy the festive, enjoy the relationship. I think that's very important, wherein you drive the value. I think its brand has to resonate somehow with its value and the consumer actually, and that's need to be communicated so that the user sees that value, that resonance of the particular brand, followed by some offers or something, so that the deal can happen. Right? That's our approach.
Okay. Kanika, if you can share some key takeaways, for brands from the campaigns that you are seeing currently on the platform.
Amazing, yes. I think a couple of key takeaways that I think will excite everyone. I think number one is that entertainment is actually shifting to social. So if you keep your content entertaining, little lightweight, a little meaningful at the same time, it's like you're delivering inspirational messages, but you are delivering them in a more entertaining manner, in a more fun manner. That is something that people are being very receptive to, and that's a key trend that we are seeing today. In fact, consumers look forward to brands sort of sharing this sort of content with them when they're in a joyous mood around Diwali. And what we are also seeing is that more than 60% of our consumers would be using more of social media during the Diwali season compared to before. So that's one critical key takeaway. The other one is that, conversations are truly shaping culture today. When you have platforms like Twitter, people are coming, they're freely expressing their thoughts, they're sharing ideas, they're having passionate debates and discourses. Over a period of time, all this leads to a tipping point, which then eventually shapes culture. These discourses become parts of communities, the communities become very strong, and to be able to then tap into these communities can really and truly put the brand on the path of getting increased loyalty and increased advocacy from their consumers. So think about it like this, right? That today consumers are not just looking at price and quality, but they're also looking at how culturally relevant a particular brand is. What are the causes that the brand is supporting? What are the different things that the brand is doing to be emotionally more relevant and to engage with them? And the moment you partake in these conversations with a very sensitive cultural lens, and by sensitive, I mean relevant to your passion points and to your values as a brand, then you're able to really gain the respect, love, trust of your consumer and be on the path of advocacy and loyalty. So I would say these are the two key trends. Entertainment is shifting to social, and within that, we are seeing more and more people wanting to use social media this festive season. And the second one would be conversations are shaping culture. So be a part of those conversations and really influence and create movements.
Okay, over to you, Nidhi. Over the past couple of years, we have seen earlier when it came to, speaking about brand value, or talking about how valuable a particular brand is, typically when the lists would be out, we would see these big consumer-facing brands topping the list. But that has changed over the course of past couple of years, and we have seen these B2B players topping these lists. So what has, led to that change in your opinion, Nidhi? And if you can throw in some light or some insights on that aspect as well.
Sure, Shivani. I will throw in a little Dell pitch here. This is the second time Dell has been recognized as the most trusted brand by consumers. So I'd say the two things that the organization realized, that two things that are not going to stop changing. It is shifting and maturing of customer behavior and shifting and maturing of technology. So everything that Kanika is talking about is where technology can actually help you move the levers, and everything that Mayank is talking about is talking about the customer behavior as well. Now, if you look at the trends, the first one is the changing CMO priorities. Because of this shifting and maturing, if I can call it that, this calls for a customer-centric culture in the team, which means that are you thinking customer first? How are you looking to meet buyer expectations? That's where data comes in. How are you building a relevant brand? That's where brand authentic voice comes in and consistency comes in. And how are you predicting that customer's intent more accurately so that you're able to reach out to the customer better, strong, relevant, unique experiences? The second bit is scale. Especially in a market like India, you have to have scale in your outreach. So how do you do scale and engagement in a data-driven environment while building a story? So a lot of marketeers, you would say, or focus so much on performance, but I think if you're not building the brand, you're not building that authentic voice, it will help or deter your performance marketing as well. And the third one I would call out is something that we've been doing quite successfully is an ecosystem marketing play. So today you cannot succeed if you don't have the ecosystem working with you and if you're not driving influence through conversations like Kanika mentioned, or what Mayank said in terms of authenticity, but is the ecosystem working with you? Industry associations, government, every aspect of who the customer comes in touch with. Are you making sure that you're part of those relevant conversation and taking the ecosystem along in this success?
Okay, and your pro tip for building value on Twitter as a platform in the coming months, Mayank?
So I think Twitter is one of the most authentic platform where the user is free to come and debate and put that conversation in place. And I think it's very, very important. And you need to understand the sensitivity of those conversations. The day you get into a trend mode, it's all positive. The moment you get into a troll, it's all negative. I think then the brand has to be very vigilant in terms of how they are managing their online reputation, and they have to be very, very cautious about it. You remember the days when we goes to a traditional retail shop, talk to about asking for a device or a mobile, and the sales guy, we used to have that conversation with that particular guy. Which phone, what price, what authenticity, what is the warranty, and XYZ. Twitter give you that conversation part, wherein Kanika rightly says the family, the friends, the colleagues, they're part of this conversation. And more than 60% are people who you don't even know, which is outside their circle, which is the community built by virtually, actually. And hence the person get experience of their product performance and the product reviews which comes into. And hence it's very important that we kind of drive a positive conversations plus positive reviews. I think consumer is yours.
Okay, and how do you change consumer perception with these conversations, Mayank? And convert them into your consumer, especially during the festive time.
See, that's what I think I will second Kanika on that case, wherein we have to build up over the time where the perceived value of the brand. They have to connect with the brand loyalty and the brand communication and the brand thought process. If that syncs with your value, I think that's where the consumer resonate the best with you, and they will drive you a positive conversation about it. You have to be a healthy brand wherein you take about the consumer, not even till the purchase, even after purchase also.
Okay. Yeah. Kanika, final thoughts on driving campaigns around the festive season?
Yes, Shivani. I'll take a minute here to also talk about the value of innovation and disruption. Because like you said, we need to break through the clutter during the festival time. And, Mayank and Nidhi have also pointed out that it's quite a cluttered space. But how do you break through that clutter authentically so you're not trying too hard, but at the same time, you're doing what is right for your brand? And I think that's where the power of innovation and disruption comes through. I'll take two examples here, and I'll, probably, maybe make them a little twittery, but I think they'll be relevant for everyone. Would be that how do you innovatively use content and do something very interesting to harness the power of these brand conversations? So one example would be some work that we had done with Flipkart, where we brought together a concept called sponsored pops. And within the sponsored pops, as an idea, we had different influencers talking about different pieces. For example, tech, lifestyle, beauty, sharing their favorite products, sharing their tips. And these videos were put together beautifully in the form of a moment on Twitter. So a consumer who's interested into different aspects of shopping in one go could actually go through the entire discoverability. And then also, of course, very quickly move on to the website in case he wants to make a purchase. But the idea here is that in a very innovative way, in a Twitter moment, you could bring across, put across different influencers talking about different things that matter to a consumer today, could be beauty, tech, lifestyle, etc. And the other piece of innovation that we're really excited and proud to share is our Twitter Blue Room. Twitter Blue Room is our premium real estate. It's the place that everyone desires and aspires to come to. So whenever we have celebrities, or whether we have influencers, or we have spokespeople from different brands, there's a sense of excitement, joy, and pride when you're sitting inside the Twitter Blue Room and having a conversation. An interesting example here would be something that was done by Amazon Prime Video for one of their biggest global launches, where they had two influencers talk about the Lord of the Rings and really kind of share trivia and have fun. And all of that was shot and recorded in the Twitter Blue Room and then amplified to the desired and the right target audience. So that's a very interesting way where you use interesting spaces and you take the equity of a platform like Twitter, bring in the influencers and just take the conversation to the next level, and just create a disruption in your category. So these are just like some cool innovations that are possible. And I would really encourage marketers to tap into this very different way of thinking and elevating the brand. And if I may add, Shibani, I think the visual language today is so important. And so many consumers today, and not just the millennials, talk in the language of emojis. And when it comes to Twitter, emojis also become very cool and relevant. And we actually have an emoji engine that empowers brands today to do a conversation around their products and features by just using emojis. That also is a very interesting way to disrupt and create very powerful conversations with your consumers.
Yeah,
so I think
I'm sure, and the pizza emoji and the burger emoji would really work wonders for certain brand categories.
I'm sure. Absolutely. That's so well said. And I think you've seeded an idea right there in the minds of some people.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.